Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new or just clicked on this video, thank you very much. My name is Alexis, and this is the Goddess of Daydreams Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a different type of video. I haven't done this type of reading in about a year, to be honest, on account of not only dealing with certain personal matters, but just not quite having the collective energy for this. For those of you that are new or unaware, or may have forgotten, usually I do readings based on dreams that I have that are a little bit more stronger than just my personal storyline, and it's more into the collective energy. I have done a couple of readings on dreams that have definitely felt bigger than me, but last year wasn't quite the I guess environment or time to receive these kind of energies within my dreams. They were mainly like dreams like Bobby from Supernatural coming to me, and we're just talking about what's happening in the physical world. Anyway, I'm doing a reading now because I have gotten, I wouldn't quite say an update, but definitely a new energy that I have experienced that I'm pretty sure many of you have encountered this experience before. And if you haven't, at least let this video be an awareness that if this situation happens, what you can do. And that's dealing with the sleep paralysis demon. Now, this was my first time dealing with one of these entities, and I'm aware of their history, the situation of somewhat. So I was able to fight off this entity. So I'm hoping that my experience and through some advice from Spirit, you can gain some insight on how to deal with these things. So one way that, or like one sign that I kind of noticed that was a little bit kind of strange was I was kind of like having a weird feeling in my stomach. I didn't feel quite sick, but something wasn't sitting right with me. So, even after meditation, after tea, something wasn't really feeling great. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it be, and I'm just going to go to bed. If there's somewhere in your body, especially like by your abdomen or by your chest, that doesn't feel quite right, let that be a sign that someone is sending some type of attack. So, after that, I went to bed, and a couple hours later, as I was sleeping, I felt this really strong sense of fear in the gut of my body, like where I was having my issues earlier that night. And I just felt this fear spreading. I immediately opened my eyes and I saw the entity basically like right on top of my stomach, perched over me. And it looked over with a really big demonic grin. And I was like almost gonna be taken by this fear energy, but something kind of kicked in the back of my head, and I was able to overcome it. And I had shut my eyes and I was like, get off of me. You are to never get on top of me ever again. And when I opened my eyes, it disappeared. Now, like I said, this was the first time I had dealt with this kind of entity. And I was actually quite surprised how I was able to handle it very quickly. But in my advice for this situation, the door to get this under control is slim. You have a few seconds, if not, like it's almost immediate that this thing, paralyzes you with fear and you can't even speak. The window is very small, so you have to act very quickly. Like, excuse me. Um, why am I? Yeah, I'm like out of breath. So I know it's something that doesn't want me to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about this. So, like I was saying, you have a few seconds to gather yourself or to like really invoke a powerful energy in you to expel this demon. Now, my advantage is I'm a Pisces. So I'm already kind of connected to the subconscious and the unknown. And for quite some time now, like even before I did this channel, I have been working on my spirituality and on my spiritual energy. So it was a little bit more quicker for me to tap into that sort of other side of me to get that energy out. Because if I didn't say or do anything, I was going to have a bad night. This entity was definitely not something um to let it linger. Now, with that being said, I highly advise one that you work on your sleeping schedule. Easier said than done, don't get me wrong. But I have also noticed that before this attack, there was a couple of nights that I wasn't really sleeping well. And I didn't really take too much notice into it because, like, on and off throughout my life, I would either have, a couple of nights that I don't sleep well, considering the energies within my country right now, it's kind of hard to sleep. But do pay attention to your sleeping schedule, because even if it may seem like normal, but also something seems off, you may want to be aware of that. Another thing is, for certain cultures, these type of entities come in when they are being sent by somebody. So you need to be aware of certain people that are around you, or let's just say you have recently or some time ago have cut ties with. They are likely to send some type of entity to watch you. If it's not a monitoring spirit, they can definitely send some type of excuse me, sleep paralysis demon, if they want to really like get under your skin like that. So I definitely have unfortunately cut certain people out of my life that have and do dabble in the dark magic. So I'm not quite surprised that they would do this to me, but I'm like, the fact that you went there is already like disrespectful enough as it is. So be mindful of that. Last, now I have mentioned this some time ago on my channel in one of my dream readings. Make sure that your bedroom is protected, especially your mattress. That's where you sleep. In a video, I had suggested in one of these streams that in each corner of your mattress, you place some type of either psalm or some type of sigil or some type of stone that is going to protect the corners of your bed. For me, I don't really have that right now, but I do have my stones in a pillowcase or like next to me at least. So you have to sleep with some type of protection on the bed. And that is my last recommendation. Now, with all of that said, let's go and see what advice Spirit has for us to add on how to protect ourselves from these entities. All right, I'm going to get 3 more. But yeah, guys, this was like my first time dealing with this. And I hope it's going to be the last time, because now that I know I can defeat this entity, it's definitely not going to want to try to come back and do that shit again. All right. I'm going to take these as well. So interesting here, we have 2 knights. So there's definitely going to be an energy of movement in the spiritual and in the physical. I'm going to talk about the 2 knights first. So we have the Knight of Cups. You can see that. Sorry for the lighting. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So with knights, it's all about movement. But here, Spirit wants us to be in the flow of our spiritual energy and of the physical energy. The Knight of Cups, you need your intuition to sort of be on the movement, doing your meditations, doing your affirmations, whatever type of spiritual practices that you do, keep doing them, because with that, it strengthens your spiritual core. Like let's just say you're working out your spiritual body. And with these sort of practices or affirmations, you help strengthen your spiritual core of your spiritual body. So that way you have the strength to fight off whatever entity, either a monitoring spirit or a sleep paralysis demon or a nightmare, whatever the case is, you have to practice your spiritual core. I mean, that's what I'm being told right now as I'm channeling this. And then with that, with the Knight of Pentacles, you also have to do this. This can be achieved through physical actions that you take, in the real world. Like I was saying, either through meditation, either through whatever spiritual practices that you do. Prayer also helps as well. I will also add that while you are praying to your guides or to your ancestors or angels, have them set traps in your dreams or as you sleep so that these demonic forces don't get to you. And if they do, well, they're going to end up in what's it called? Like in a pit of spikes. Like you can do something like that. Be as creative with these traps. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some ancestors or angels that will take pride in doing these things. But whatever you're doing in the physical must match with the spiritual. So you cannot be like praying to whatever deity or angels or ancestors and not believe it. Like you're kind of giving an empty prayer. You're giving like an empty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a promise, more like an empty command. And vice versa. You don't want to be in your spiritual practices and think like, oh, I'm doing all of this and nothing is working. If you say that, then it's not going to work. You have to continue doing these spiritual practices. It's about discipline. Now, last I have is the moon. My card, Pisces energy. If you have Pisces in your chart, in your birth chart, or you are a Pisces, you are going to have a slightly better advantage when fighting these type of entities. Because with the Pisces, we're very comfortable being in these dark places, being in surrounded by unknown energies, because we know how to transfigure the dark, the scary, the terrifying, the fear into something very powerful. It's a lot, don't get me wrong, but I do feel confident that for any water sign especially, they are able to master these type of unknown entities and fears and channel it into their own power. Because, the moon is all about illuminating the energies that you can and can't see. I was able to see more like, the moon is about illuminating energies that you can't see, fears that you can't see. And as a water sign, I'm able to see these type of things and not be afraid of it. Even though it caught me off guard, I was able to kind of ground my spiritual body and expel it away. Now, for those of you that are not a water sign or don't have water signs in your birth chart, I would suggest that you start practicing some type of spiritual connection. At least start connecting to your spiritual body or to your higher self. So that can look as in, Spirit, give me an example. Okay, one example is, I don't know if some of you are aware, but burning your hair is actually a great idea to start connecting to your higher self and especially to your ancestors. With that, you are offering a piece of yourself to the higher realms or to the higher forces, and helping strengthening that bond between you and the energies that are to help you, that are to serve you. that are to uplift you. Now, also with the moon card here, Spirit is going to be asking you whatever fears that you are either trying to ignore or trying to suppress, it's going to make the situation worse. Because now this monitoring spirit, or this, what's it called again? Sleep paralysis demon or nightmare is going to look at those fears and it's going to feed off of it and it's going to make it stronger. You want to starve out this entity. You want to starve out this monitoring spirit or these sleep paralysis demons. The more fear you have, the stronger that they become. If you have less fear and you're in control of your inner emotions, then they are not going to have as much power as they think that they have over you. Let me pull one final message. So definitely working on your fears, working on your spiritual connection to higher self or divine. Okay, all right, Spirit is saying that's enough. And I'll take these two cards then. So we have the Two of Wands, and we also have the Queen of Wands. So really big fire energy going on here. So I do kind of like with the water energy and the fire energy, you really got to like combine. I don't know why in my head I'm getting like fire water. It's basically like fire water, you know, the fire signs and the water signs. Now, with the Two of Wands and the Queen of Wands, Spirit needs you to be confident that whatever you are doing, whatever you're planning, whatever you're seeing, that you follow through with it. Also, Spirit is asking you, especially through the Queen of Wands, to take better care of your, how can I put this, Spirit? Your spiritual hygiene. There we go. Maybe for some of you, you might need a bit of a salt bath. You might need a bit of saging. You probably need to go and touch some grass or hug a tree. But definitely you need to cleanse up your spiritual hygiene. I'm also kind of getting with the Two of Wands and the Queen of Wands here. You might want to check on your aura. For those of you that probably do cards or charms, whatever way you scry, you are going to have to ask your energies to look into your aura to see if there are any holes or leaks. Definitely entities like the one I dealt with can come and creep up in there. So be confident that whatever you're doing, you have to follow through. And make sure that you are on top of your spiritual hygiene. And then the last thing I will mention, and this is for whoever has been sending certain energies my way, why do you keep doing that? Knowing that whatever you sent to me never returns back to you. And if it does, it's not in the form that you expect it to come in. Like, be lucky that the body comes back to you. I will say that. And I have been quite lenient because, you know, I'm busy focusing on my life, focusing on getting things back together. For some of you that don't know, I just moved last year. Still working on maintaining and getting things. I'm minding my business, drinking my tea. And for some reason, people that I'm aware of that wants to hurt me spiritually keep doing so. Now, you know what? I'm not even going to give any more warnings. The next time that you try to come into my dreams or you sent some type of demon my way, I'm not even going to say anything. You're going to know and you're going to regret the actions that you have done. If you're not regretting now, oh boy, I'm going to make my higher self is going to make sure that you're going to regret. You're going to be crying tears of blood and you're going to be wishing that you did not send anything my way. Anyway, with that said, thank you guys for listening to this reading. I hope the insights and messages that I have given you will help you on whatever troubles that you're dealing with in your sleep. I really hope that the advice and the experience that I have just explained kind of gives you a glimpse of what you can do or what you need to work on to make sure that these entities cannot bother you anymore. You are entitled to a peaceful and restful sleep. You're entitled to be connected to, positive, abundant, and happy dreams. Not for you to be paralyzed in the middle of the night for some evil shit looking at you. This energy has no power over you. At least know that. You have the power to remove it. However, you must make sure that you are working on your spiritual body, your physical body, and you are on top of your spiritual hygiene. Because if not, there are going to be ways that these entities will find to come and creep up in your life. Unfortunately, people kind of want to be on demon time, so you have to do what's necessary to keep yourself safe and at peace. So, let me know if you like this reading. Please give it a like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more insight and messages. I would definitely appreciate it and will give tremendous support to my channel. And if you're new or, if you're new or a existing subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that this reading has given you some insight and energies that you need. And if you feel that this reading did not resonate, no worries. Feel free to check out the other readings on my channel. There's definitely a message there for you. So my collective and those that are new, good luck. I have trust and faith that you will overcome and defeat these entities, monitoring spirits, and sleep paralysis demons. They only give the illusion. That's why we also have the moon here. They give the illusion that they are powerful than you. But you have so much light and so much power that you have no idea. You could simply eradicate these energies. Take it from me. I have definitely eradicated a couple of energies for a couple of years. So I wish you good luck. Thank you so much and stay safe and have a good day.